All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Crew Show with a little Brandon Aiyuk video. Check out Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Go get some brisket. Go get some brisket chili. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. Pig in a Pickle. And this video is brought to you by Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove along the Monterey Peninsula. Call my friend Anthony Catania at 831-521-5264. When will the Brandon Aiyuk saga come to an end? When will the Niners bring this ship to shore? When will Aiyuk and his agent bring this ship to shore? When will this trade be consummated or kicked to the curb? All right, let's talk a little bit about the latest. Ian Rapoport, the rap sheet on NFL Network today, said a deal has been finalized already between the Niners and the Steelers to send Brandon Aiyuk to the Steelers for some package of compensation coming back to the 49ers in whatever form. Players, picks, I'm not sure. He says, rap sheet says that everything's been agreed to. That the Steelers and Aiyuk are in agreement on a contract, that the Niners and the Steelers are in agreement on compensation, and that this is literally just waiting for the 49ers to decide. Now, Matt Mayoko went on Threads and said, you know what, this is real basic. The 49ers are not going to make a move unless they are convinced that it makes them better, which is smart. He also says that Aiyuk is not going to sign a contract that he doesn't feel confident in, and one that he wants fully. So that's where it stands. Aiyuk's doing what's best for him. The Niners are doing what's best for them. The Steelers are waiting around hoping that the Niners will trade Aiyuk to them. And then Mike Garafolo sat down from the NFL Network. And actually, before we hear from Garafolo, let's hear from Rap Sheet. We'll let you hear from Rap Sheet first. Here's Ian Rapoport on the NFL Network kind of summing it up, and then we'll hear from Garafolo. First, Rap Sheet.
Well, here's where it stands after talking to several sources informed of this situation. The 49ers and the Steelers do, in fact, have a deal to trade Brandon Aiyuk from the 49ers to the Steelers. And in any other situation, literally, that would be major news. Except for this situation. There are many other parts to this. By the way, I should also mention the Steelers are also in a very good place for the Brandon Aiyuk contract extension if he got traded to the Steelers. And again, that deal is in place. It just takes the 49ers to say, yes, we are doing it, which they have not done. I want to repeat, the 49ers have not done yet. They have been waiting because they are also dual paths, same player, dual paths. They're also trying to get a long-term extension done with Brandon Aiyuk. They have made a big-time offer to him. It is not something he has accepted. It is not good enough. So that is where it stands with the deal for the Steelers over here, the deal for Brandon Aiyuk staying with the 49ers over here, and the 49ers, Aiyuk, and the Steelers all right around here, unsure of where they're going to go. That's it.
All right, there you go. Ian Rapoport basically saying it's a done deal. Steelers have agreed with Aiyuk. Niners have agreed with the Steelers. It's up to the Niners to decide when they want to pull the trigger. So according to the rap sheet, the ball's in the Niners' court. And then let's hear from Garafolo, because Garafolo's got different sources, also with the NFL Network. And he seems to indicate that Aiyuk would like to stay with the Niners after all this. Here's Garafolo.
This situation has been uncomfortable. It's been contentious. It's still a little bit of both of those as we sit here right now, at least between Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers. I'm going to try to inject a little bit of optimism here, because you talked about that Instagram post the other night, Tom, where Aiyuk said that there are two options. Let's just pick one, right? I dug into that a little bit, and what I've been told is that Brandon Aiyuk would prefer to stay with the 49ers and has always preferred to stay with the 49ers, all things being equal. Now, they haven't been equal, but they did make that offer. In fact, both sides sent proposals within the last, couple days, week or so. And the 49ers number has gotten better than what it was previously. And they have, from my understanding, they have agreed on a lot of the main points of the deal. Their offers are in line, but it sounds like there's just one more thing that needs to be ironed out. And if that thing gets ironed out, Brandon Aiyuk signs the deal. He stays with the 49ers. He drops the trade request. And finally, we can put this situation behind him, and the Niners can put it behind him. Look, they did the fourth quarter comeback with Deebo Samuel before when he had the trade request. This would be like, I don't know, like Montana to John Taylor, that kind of last-second type comeback. But it can happen. It has happened before. Thank you. Trying to keep the theme going. Look, as you know, we've talked about leverage. The ball's in whose court. As far as Aiyuk is concerned, it sounds like the ball's in the 49ers' court, and he's hoping that they can just make the final adjustment and get this thing done and stay with the Niners. We'll see.
So there you have it. Rap Sheet says the Niners and the Steelers have a deal worked out, and the Steelers and Aiyuk have a contract worked out. The Niners have made supposedly up their offer to Aiyuk, but at this point, we don't know how he feels about their offer. Matt Mayoko says the Niners are just going to do what's best for them. Ayuk's going to do what's best for him. And Garafolo says the people that he's talking to say that Aiyuk, all things being equal, would like to be a 49er over a Steeler. And there's only one little aspect or, issue that they have arisen with the contract that they're not agreeing with the 49ers on yet, and we'll see. These two sides are either going to come to an agreement and get past their final hurdle, and Ayuk's going to be a Niner. And, at the end of the day, I mean, there are multiple indications that Aiyuk wants to be a Niner. His mother is a lifelong Niner fan. He has pictures of himself as a little boy in Niner jerseys. He lived in Rockland, California, where the Niners trained. He was a original 49er drafted, developed by the 49ers. And he also has been a hold-in. So I think he has spoken loudly with his presence as a hold-in that A, he didn't want to be fined, but B, that his heart and mind is still very much with the Niners. We talked to Deebo the other day and we said, hey, have you talked to Aiyuk? He's like, yeah, man, that's my guy. I talk to him every day. So he's in the 49er locker room. He's in there with his teammates. He's in the meetings with the teammates. He's holding in. To me, there's a big difference between a hold in and a hold out. Now, you could have a contentious hold in and a very smooth hold out and everything. And, you could argue that hold in is worse than a hold out. Trent Williams is currently holding out, yet a lot of people feel that deal's going to get done. Ayuk's been holding in, yet a lot of people feel the deal isn't going to get done. But Garafolo's source seems to believe that Aiyuk would like to be a Niner. And the fact that this is dragged on and on and on and on and on makes me think that maybe that is true. On some level, Aiyuk doesn't, I know it sounds good when you're trying to secure the big bag to say, I'm all about the big bag. But we have indications here that Aiyuk cares somewhat about winning. If he didn't care about winning, wouldn't he be a Patriot by now? It obviously he feels like winning matters on some level. So between all these teams involved, New England, maybe the worst team in pro football, probably going to have the first pick in the draft. The Browns, they made the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is no longer there. They're going back to Deshaun Watson. They're in the toughest division in football. They're probably 8-8. The Steelers don't have a quarterback. Russell Wilson's old and has been. Justin Fields sucks. They have no quarterback. So you're really going to go play on a team that has no quarterback? That's probably, once again, 8-8. Maybe they'll make the playoffs as the last playoff team, but they're not a true Super Bowl contender, even with Aiyuk, in my opinion. So New England, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, or the current Super Bowl favorite, the defending NFC champions that were in the Super Bowl a year ago, that have an incredible 23-year-old quarterback, an excellent head coach, an amazing surrounding cast, and nearly a quarter of the NFL's top 30 players on its roster. Sounds like it's up to Aiyuk, but how anybody, if you really play this game to win, You want to get, to me, I want to get the biggest bag. I mean, it's like, if this were me, I want the biggest bag on the best team. And obviously, that's the goal. If I can't get the biggest bag on the best team, I'll consider other options. But I would much rather take a very big bag on one of the 2 or 3 best teams than take a slightly bigger bag and miss the playoffs. Or maybe wind up on an awful team like New England. Losing football hurts. You're on a team with a ton of weapons. That's going to lengthen your career by limiting your usage. So get as much as you can and stay on the team that's going to give you the longest career, because you might have another big contract coming in a few years if you stay healthy in this offense. So there you go. That's the latest on Aiyuk. Rap Sheet says a deal has been finalized between the Niners and the Steelers. They're waiting on the 49ers to decide if they ultimately want to pull the trigger. Matt Mayoko says the Niners are going to do what's best for them. Aiyuk's going to do what's best for him, and that's why it's taking so long. And Mike Garafolo says his sources say, all things being relatively equal, Aiyuk would rather be a Niner than a Steeler, and there's only one issue remaining in the contract between his agent and Parag Marathe to get ironed out, and then he's a 49er going forward. So we don't have an answer yet. The fans are tired of it. The media is tired of it. The players are tired of it. The executives are tired of it. I think everybody at this point wants to see this thing come to an end. But that's the latest. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.